There was a quiet neighborhood on the edge of the city, tucked away between busy streets. People didn't talk much to each other, but they were kind enough neighbors, who nodded in passing and exchanged brief smiles. But the quietness of the neighborhood was hiding something darker. It was 3 a.m. when Emily woke up. The sound of something scraping against her bedroom window pulling her from sleep. At first, she thought it was just the wind, but the noise continued, sharp and deliberate, like nails dragging across glass. She sat up in bed, listening. The wind hadn't been that strong tonight. The scraping sound grew louder, like something or someone was trying to get in. Fear crawled down her spine. Emily got out of bed, her feet cold against the floor, and moved toward the window. Her heart hammered in her chest. The street outside was empty. No one in sight. No movement. But as her eyes adjusted to the dark, she saw something strange. In the corner of the street lamp's glow, there was a figure standing motionless. The figure wore a black coat, hood pulled low, hiding its face. The figure was just standing there, unmoving. Emily's hand trembled as she reached for the blinds. But before she could touch them, she heard a voice, soft but unmistakable, like it was right behind her. "Don't look outside." She spun around, her breath catching in her throat. There was no one there. She turned back to the window and the figure was gone. Suddenly, a loud thud shook the walls of her house. It came from downstairs. Emily froze. She wanted to call out, to scream, but the words wouldn't come. She crept down the hall to the staircase, barely breathing. Each step she took echoed in the quiet house. At the bottom of the stairs, the front door stood wide open. Her heart skipped. She could have sworn she had locked it before going to bed. Before she could think, a shadow moved past the doorway. Too fast, too silent. Emily's stomach twisted. The shadow didn't look human. It was tall, with long, thin limbs that bent unnaturally. It stood in the open doorway, watching her, its face hidden beneath the hood. The room grew cold. "Why did you look?" The voice whispered, low and rasping. Suddenly, the thing lunged forward. But Emily didn't scream. She couldn't. Her body froze, her blood chilled, as the dark figure reached out to touch her, and in that moment, she realized the figure didn't need to break in. It had been inside all along. It was only waiting for the dark hour.